Most people have that little voice in their head, thinking anxious thoughts and questioning everything. This voice tells us we've done something wrong even when we haven't, or everyone hates us. That's not true most of the time, but how can you really tell the difference? Is there a way to know for sure if someone doesn't like you? Hey everyone, welcome to Highly Successful You. Today we're going to talk about the 10 signs someone secretly dislikes you. Not everyone will like you. No matter how nice that would be, it's impossible. You're eventually going to rub someone wrong, and they probably won't tell you it's happened. That's why it's good to know these 10 signs. That way you're never left wandering in the dark, confused as to where you stand with a friend, family member, coworker, or acquaintance that feels a little off. Hopefully, these signs can help you ease that paranoia and focus instead on things you can control. So with that, let's get into it. Number 1. Closed-off body language. Body language can be essential, first and foremost, in figuring out whether someone likes you or not. If open body language means someone likes you and wants to welcome you in, closed-off body language is the opposite. This can be anything from crossed arms or legs, leaning back, sitting further away from you, or moving further. In some cases, this can be defensive behavior or just disinterested. If you notice a particular person exhibiting these signs, your best bet is to probably back off a bit and give them space. If they want to, they'll change their behavior, and if not, it can be a sign of something else. Number 2. Eye contact changes. Whether it's too much or too little, eye contact is an excellent indicator of someone's feelings. Some people maintain too much eye contact as a defensive stance, like in a heated argument, to seem more dominant. Avoiding your gaze is just as bad, but it's more about getting away from you. If you suddenly start to notice that they're maintaining intense eye contact when they're usually more laid back, it's worth noticing and maybe figuring out where the change happened. The same can be said if they refuse to keep your gaze. If you can tie the difference to something that happened between you or something you said, you might have your answer. Number 3. The conversation seems forced. The best friendships and relationships feel genuine. If you start to feel like a situation or conversation you're having feels forced, then that might be a telltale sign that the other person feels somehow around you. Social etiquette and polite behavior are so hard ingrained in our systems that even when we don't like someone, we might not be comfortable being rude to them. If you feel like the conversations with this person feel like they're dragging or are impossible to keep going, you might be dealing with someone who simply doesn't like you. They're not holding their end of the conversation, possibly because they want to end it as soon as possible. Number 4. They reflect the opposite of you. If someone likes you, they may subconsciously start to mimic your behavior and body language to make you like them better. This is known in psychology as the chameleon effect, as our brains tend to like people we associate ourselves with. This goes the same when you notice that someone's body language is working against yours. They may subconsciously be trying to differentiate themselves as far from you as possible. If you start seeing that the conversation isn't going anywhere and the person you're talking to isn't syncing with your vibe, it might mean they don't like you. Number 5. They give backhanded compliments. When you're dealing with someone who doesn't like you much, you might notice that their compliments come with a thorny underside. Do they follow up a compliment with ifs or for? For example, "You're so good looking for someone your size," or "You'd have so much potential if only you actually tried." This person wants to keep you in what they perceive as your place. They're being as nice as they can while still insulting you. It makes them feel better about themselves while being able to default on the compliment half of the statement. Number 6. They're only friendly when they need something. If this person is always rude to you, but you suddenly notice they're in your corner when they need something, it's a good sign they're being fake. Do their messages or conversations with you start with favors or requests? This person may be using your good faith against you and not like you in the first place. Ideally, we surround ourselves with people who love us for who we are, not just for what we can provide. You can always check by telling them that you can't help but ask to hang out after. If they respond more like how they usually act or are suddenly cold and closed off, you have your answer. Number 7. They're always one-upping you. It's a serious red flag when someone constantly has something to share to one-up you. These are the kind of people who want to wear white to your wedding just to steal your thunder. If they always have something to add to your success or have something to say, it might be better for you to stop sharing these things with them altogether. If you call out the behavior, things can get ugly, and that's where gaslighting can occur. They'll usually hide this under the guise of not knowing there was anything wrong. They want you to feel like they're better than you without saying it. Number 8. They purposely don't include you in things. If you notice that someone is constantly keeping their plans from you while sharing them with everyone else or forgetting that you're in the room, you might have someone to keep an eye on. This isn't a one-time thing, but something that people chronically do to people they don't like. You, yourself, might be guilty of this from time to time without realizing it. If you start to notice a pattern with someone, you might want to take it as a hint. Cohabitating in a space with someone who hates you can put you in an uncomfortable situation all across the board, but sometimes it's easy to spot this behavior and decide to exclude yourself to avoid hostility. Number 9. They're always criticizing you. Some choose to hide their criticism behind a compliment, while others will use your perceived friendship to criticize you to your face. If you have a friend or coworker who always has to give their opinion on you, it doesn't feel good. These people will use phrases like, "Wouldn't you rather hear it from me than a stranger?" or "I just want what's best for you." Being honest is one thing, but being overtly hostile doesn't help anyone. They want to keep you humble or small, projecting their own insecurities onto you while picking at what they believe are your flaws. This also shows up in people who constantly want to play devil's advocate and fall back on that to criticize you. If you don't entertain these criticisms, they'll be upset at you, but it's much healthier to remove the hostile forces from your life as soon as you realize they're dragging you down. Number 10. They don't talk more than they have to. One of the easiest ways to see if someone likes you is by asking about their hobbies, friendships, or things they enjoy. If you notice that they respond in short, cold statements or just simple yes or no answers all the time, the odds are they're not a fan. Think about it. If you don't want to talk to someone, you won't. By asking them about things they like or enjoy, you allow them to dive into something they like. If they're not a fan of you, they probably will want to end the conversation as quickly as possible without telling you they don't want to talk. You can't make people like you, nor can you really control when they don't. Many people decide who they will and won't like based solely on first impression, and sometimes you might not have done anything wrong. You may need to be polite and professional, but we don't need to be friends. Learning to accept this as part of life is the healthiest way to handle it, but also recognizing when a situation has lost all hope can help you come to terms with it along the way. That brings us to the end of today's video. Are there any thoughts you'd like to share? Drop it down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.